Today's story is rather strange, but actually pretty uplifting. This is the story of the Camel Girl. If you like this sort of content, start World War III. Okay, not really, but maybe a little. Ella Harper's life leading up to fame was anything but easy. She was born with a rare genetic disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which strangely enough caused her joints to be hyperflexible and her skin to be velvety, soft, and stretchy. This made it very difficult for Ella to do simple everyday tasks. Eating, dressing, bathing was a chore, and she relied on her family for everything, all of the assistance. Although, despite all these physical limitations, she kept a positive outlook on life. So, any of you out there being negative and you're still able to walk properly and take a proper shit, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you fucking complain. Ella's story is an inspiration to many. It's a reminder that no matter what challenge you face in life, or your physical or mental conditions you may have, you can still pursue anything you want. Well, maybe not anything. I don't think Ella's playing quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, but she can. Anyways, we're gonna get into like more of what she could actually do, because like she's pretty limited. Most children are going to school, going on about their daily lives, but Ella had to stay home. Very obviously. They didn't have like Stephen Hawking technology yet for this type of thing. So she definitely had to hang out back at her place all the time. Although this did not stop her from dreaming big. You know, she ultimately embraced who she was. It has been said through her resilience and determination, she became an international sensation. She challenged society's beauty standards and pursuing the things that made her happy. I mean, for God's sake, she looks like this. But at least she's not obese. Sorry if that was a tough pill to swallow, but maybe you should stop swallowing so much food. Ella Harper started performing at the age of 12. You know, just because of her look, you know, her legs looking like a less than sign, a less than symbol. God, how do I make this story sound good? It's supposed to be uplifting. Okay, so she starts performing in shows when she's young. She's 12. So even the deformity actually didn't help, because they were putting her in front of people when she was young. So basically she's a child star, except minus all the sexual assault. When Ella Harper was born, she's diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder called ichthyosis. This caused her skin to become very dry and scaly. She turned into a reptile person. Okay, she basically became Godzilla. Not really. She had scales like a fish. But the nickname Camel Girl actually comes from the way she stands, and she developed sort of a hide of a camel, which gave her this nickname. Ella Harper was born on January 5th, 1870, in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Her father's name was William Harper, and her mother was Minerva Ann Childress. William was a farmer, as a well-known stock raiser in Sumner County at that time. He died in a fire on August 26, 1890. It has been later also revealed that Ella had a twin brother named Everett Harper, who died on April 4th, 1970, 3 months after his birth. William and Minerva had a total of 5 children. Ella also had a middle name, and her full name was Ella Evans Harper. It appears she began her career in circus sideshow around October of 1884, and this was mostly in the St. Louis and New Orleans areas. She didn't seem to start the traveling shows until her last year of performing. In 1886, Ella was the popular star of W.H. Harris's Nickel Plate Circus, often appearing accompanied by a camel when she's presented to the audiences. She was a feature in the newspapers of every town in the circus that visited. Those newspapers touted Ella as the most wonderful freak of nature since the creation of the world. The back of her pitch card reads, "I am called the Camel Girl because my knees turn backward. I can walk best on my hands and feet as you see me in the picture. I've traveled considerably in the show business for the past 4 years, and now this is 1886, and I intend to quit the show business and go to school and fit myself for another occupation. Harper received $200 per week salary. Approximately, this is $6,500 a week in today's money. Many of the newspaper ads actually referred to her being as part camel or half camel. Later in May of 1886, some newspapers mentioned her being a fraud and that she was nothing more than a pleasant-faced young woman whose knees turned backward. And it said once she was outed this way and sort of lost some of that mystique, this is why she actually quit the circus. Because a main selling point was that people believed that she was actually half camel, and that's why she had this deformity. Ella actually goes home after this, ends up going to school and having a more private life. No further information is available about Ella's life for quite some years. It seems that she just disappeared from history. On the 28th of June, 1905, Ella Harper married a man named Robert L. Savely. Savely was a school teacher and later a bookkeeper for a photo supplies company. Astonishingly, in April 27th of 1906, Ella gave birth to a baby girl and named her Mabel Evans Savely. Unfortunately, not even 6 months after the birth, Mabel had died. And in the late 1900s, Ella and her husband moved to Davidson County. Ella, her husband, and her mother were living together in Nashville at 1012 Joseph Avenue. Later, in 1918, Ella and Robert adopted a baby girl named Jewel Savely. However, she also died within 3 months. So they're just not having a lot of luck. A camel girl is not having a lot of luck with children. Maybe it's because she has to walk on all fours. I don't know. Maybe she can't properly take care of a child. She is kind of deformed. Like, it must be difficult for her to get around. That's to say that her husband isn't helping take care of the child, which he might not be. We don't know. But just the bad luck of adopting a child and then they die. And you can't even have your own. Maybe you're just not meant to have kids, you know. On December 19th, 1921, Ella died at 8:15 in the morning at her home from colon cancer. There's actually a video found on YouTube of a young lady in France who currently has the same condition as Ella. And this is actually a present day example of what Ella the Camel Girl would have looked like.